Hello, hello, and welcome back to the On the Real with Andrew podcast, where me and my revolving group of friends discuss any and everything in the world of film and TV. I'm your host, Andrew Washington, and joining me today for the first time on the podcast, my screening and awards event bestie, Stacey. Hello, hello.
Yeah, so excited to be here. I cannot wait to get into this with you.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to have you on. For the listeners, just to explain, we run into each other at press screenings all the time, and we were table mates at the AAFCA TV honors most recently this past year. But I reached out to her and I was like, I need to have you on to discuss everything that we've seen this year because there's been so much this year. But I wanted to start with some good. I know we both have a fair number of honorable mentions, films that couldn't make the top 10 list that we want to give a shout out to. This year, this episode, I'm trying something new. We're going to try something a bit different to kind of just to have some fun with it and give ourselves a little bit of a challenge. So for every honorable mention that we have listed, we are going to be limited to only 5 words to describe how we felt about these films. 5 words. This is hard. If anybody knows, if you listen to the podcast, I am long-winded, so I definitely had to sit down and figure some things out. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna have fun, and it's gonna be a fun episode. We got a few different topics to talk about, a bunch of movies. But to start, Stacey, what are your first round of honorable mentions?
My first honorable mention is weapons. My 5-word description is a weak ending, but otherwise enjoyable.
Very fair, very fair, very fair. I get it.
My next one, Train Dreams. Beautiful, but lacking a connection.
Mm.
It's pretty. I don't know about outside of that. And then Wake Up Dead Man. Let's see. Excellent trequel. what's a third?
Is it threequel or?
It is today. Excellent trequel, more in surprises, disappointments.
Okay.
Because I do have to
The
expand that
slash
one.
and hyphen. I get. Okay.
It's almost on
I'll
that
let.
list.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. My first batch of honorable mention. So my first, A House of Dynamite, which I just watched literally like maybe 2 hours ago. My words. Repetitive but enthralling. Great structure. My next one, Surat, the Spanish film. Crazy, unexpected, love the score. Okay. My next, It Was Just an Accident. Third act saved my experience.
Okay.
My next, Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Okay.
My 5 words.
This is
My 5 words. Fine, J-Lo can sing sometimes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that because that's actually in another one of my list. And it's not even that. It's not even the J-Lo. It's that I think she's the reason. But we'll talk about that.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I literally, I was trying to, those were, as far as what I could sum up in 5 words about that movie, that was the best I could come up with. Trust me, I have more thoughts about that movie, but my 5 words, fine, J-Lo can sing sometimes. My last of this first batch, Eternity.
Oh, okay.
Most awe-worthy, like awe, most awe-worthy film this year. Those are my 5 words for that.
See that. All right.
So that's our first batch of honorable mentions. That was fun. I like the 5 words thing. Now we're going to get into our least favorite films this year. So I will ask you to start. What is your number 5? What is your 5th least favorite film this year?
Okay, I did not put these in that type of order because I was like, it depends. It depends on the day, the month, the week, the year. But I
That's
will
fair.
say one of the most recent ones that's on my bottom list is Marty Supreme. I know you enjoyed that
Wow.
film. I could not stand that movie. And I wanted badly to like it because
Hmm.
it has everything, and the cast is phenomenal. I will
Yeah.
say any goodwill done to that protagonist is due to Timothy Chalamet. He calls it
Mm.
like his best work to date. And I think in many ways it is. I think that there
Hmm.
is a big problem with the script. I think there's a big problem with the direction. And I think it's a Softy Brothers issue because I kind of
Mm.
have the same issues around another one of my bottoms that we'll talk about next. But, and it's a Softy issue. So I think we talked a little bit about this. Did you watch Uncut Gems?
I did,
Okay.
and I am an Uncut Gems fan.
So I am an Uncut Gems fan in the way that I understand what they were doing. I understand the type of filmmaking. However, I watched it once and I never need to watch it again. I'm fine.
That's fair.
And
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
Adam Sandler's character was so annoying, but I get that that was like what it was supposed to be. One of the things that really kind of bugs me about Marty Supreme is that it's uncut gems with ping pong. And there's something to the idea of there not being any growth between those two projects that
Hmm.
is unfortunate. Plus, they have a real issue with the way that they write women in
Hmm.
these, and having Gwyneth Paltrow risk it all in Central Park for Marty God dang Supreme. Like,
Right.
come on now, sir,
Right.
sir. Like, what is this fairy tale? What is this fantasy? So yeah, yeah. So that one was in one of my bottoms.
Okay. All right. That is fair. I have to say I'm probably on almost the exact opposite end of
Hmm.
where you landed with that, but I will say yesterday for the first time I just watched Good Time,
Ah,
and I
uh-huh.
think that my issues that stuck out with that film kind of reflect what you're saying about Marty Supreme.
Hmm.
And in that, that's why I understand what you mean by it's a problem with the Safdies that they have, because they are obsessed with characters that love putting down other people for anything that they need.
Yeah.
And I think it does come off in unfortunate and all of the ist and like, ism ways.
Oh my God.
Good Time, it's more racist. Marty Supreme, it's more sexist. Uncut Gems, I feel like it's more of a mix of both.
And oddly
Um,
anti-Semitic. I was like,
yeah,
what are we doing, guy?
in
Some joke,
in
and I
in
was
in
like,
weird
I
ways.
had to remind myself. I was like, is Timothy Chalamet Jewish? Like,
Well, I mean, I understand where you come from, but I think part of me saying all that is I am not one, and this is not me saying that you are. I try to not judge my entire experience of the film on like decisions that I don't agree with that the main character made. And I do agree with what you're saying about the style being very consistent, almost identical to their other, especially Uncut Gems and Good Time. But I just happen to really, really love that style. And so I did respond really well. But yeah, no. So I like I said, I will stop my thoughts on Marty Supreme because I have more to say on it later. And also, if you would like to check out my full non-spoiler review of Marty Supreme, you can check out my most recent awards roundup episode. My first of my least favorite list is gonna be Regretting You. I just thought this movie was a bit ridiculous. I'm not the biggest. I don't care for Colleen Hoover. I didn't like It Ends With Us. This movie I thought was
yeah,
worse than that, but I think I enjoyed it more than It Ends With Us, just because I thought that It Ends With Us was like I just couldn't believe that was a story that
Right.
they felt the need to turn into a film. I don't think Regretting You has those issues, and I think because of that I was able to lean into it a bit more. But it is, I just think so many aspects of this film are just so poorly done. Like
I
it's lit terribly. It feels like an AMC ad at several points. Every piece of conflict is resolved in the next scene. you know, I had told myself and my friends after I saw it, I was like, the only thing that was lightly saving the experience was I was kind of picturing it being a sequel to Girls focused on Marnie.
honestly,
And
yeah.
I was like, with that mindset, I was like, this is almost good. I was like, I almost see it. But unfortunately it's not that.
The thing with Regretting You is, well, okay, I want good things for McKenna Grace. I really want her to go down the weird route. I want her to do indie stuff. I want her to do stuff that is challenging. She has a uniqueness about her that I think Hollywood is trying to wash out of her. And so we get her in these like insipid rom-coms. And I'm like, girl, you have so much potential. You have so much that you can do. First of all, she will ever forever be my favorite Hill. And Haunted Hill is my everything. Miss Theo, all day, every day. I love her. Ghostbusters, fantastic. She embodies that character so beautifully. And so then when you see her all of a sudden in this like, oh, I'm an adult, I'm a girl's girl, and da 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 da, and it's like, no, I want to see you be messy. Like you have it in. She honestly has it in her to kind of do like the Anna Kendrick thing and take roles that are really going to kind of put her, because me and Anna Kendrick go back and forth. Sometimes I love her, sometimes I can't stand her, but she has made great decisions in terms of her career. So yeah, that was one of my big things with Regretting You. It's like, girl, what?
Right. No, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I just thought that movie was a bit of a big miss there. What's your next least favorite?
So it's going to be a little controversial, but I have a lot of reasons for it, and it is Other Choice.
No Other Choice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A movie that we saw together.
Yep. We ended up seeing it together at the Dolby Theater, and it basically was like, we did Squid Games, we did Parasite. Now we're gonna take it up a notch, and it's like, I don't know that we necessarily needed that. I felt that even in the shenanigans of Parasite, what they were
Mhm.
doing may have been like morally suspect, but it wasn't murder. And I think we jumped to murder a little too quickly in Other Choices. So it became this thing of like,
There.
is this a fantasy? What is this supposed to be like inspiring anyone to do? There's not
Mhm.
the thing of, oh my God, this person is just trying their best. And, they got screwed over by the man. And, now we're going to see them kind of scam their way out of it. It's like, oh no,
Mhm.
you went a way that was unfortunate. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that unfortunately was on my bottom.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. For the listeners, we did not share any of our lists with each other, and things will become clear as you get later in the episode. This is very surprising to me. But okay, same with Marty Supreme. I think I understand where you're coming from, especially the jumping to murder is a bit is a bit much. But I really enjoyed No Other Choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have more on that later. My number 4 is gonna be Minecraft. Um, I don't know if you
Yeah.
made it to the theater to see this. I have to say that the theatrical experience, as crazy and as almost like eh, antithetical that it is to kind of what the theatrical experience is supposed to be, it was the only thing that made me enjoy watching it was the experience of people going crazy and screaming and throwing stuff and responding to the movie and all of that. Because there were moments in this film, and a lot of them lined up with Danielle Brooks's character, where I was like, how is this a movie that was fully produced and released by a major studio? I've never seen more of a cash grab of a film, I don't think. And this is saying that in a year where Disney's Snow White exists. Like, there's not a film that I don't think feels more written by AI. I think that has come out this year than Minecraft. So mind-numbingly stupid. I love Jack Black. Like, I love Jack Black so much with my heart. And it's honestly not the most surprising thing that he's in this movie. Like, truthfully, like it makes a lot of sense that Jack Black is the name that's attached to it. So, my issues aren't necessarily with him. I just think everyone outside of Jack Black, every single person whose name is on that cast and credits list, needs to be questioned.
Are you were you a Minecraft person?
Not huge. A lot of my friends were, because I was in late elementary school / middle school when it first kind of came out and blew up. So I was like in the thick of, like, who Minecraft was for, and like it was around, and so I always like played it off and on, but I was never, into it. I wasn't a big gamer kind of that much at all, but I'm like, I still have the knowledge. Like, I know night comes every 20 minutes, and like, the creepers, and like, I'm like, I know that stuff at least enough to, I can follow along and at least understand some of the nostalgia of it. But I just don't even think that was helping me. Like, I feel like it's made for new age Minecraft fans. Like, it's not made for people that were Minecraft fans in 2013.
This is the issue, though. I was reading this great article about the fall of Snapple. And one thing about Snapple is this homegrown kind of small thing. It was nostalgic. It was, people felt very connected to it. And it got bought out, I want to say by General Mills. I may be wrong, but I think it was General Mills. And the first thing they got rid of was Wendy the Snapple Lady. And Wendy the Snapple Lady was Wendy the Snapple Lady. Like, when you heard about Snapple, you knew who that was. Right. And of course, they made all these other little changes, and they took it out of like small town bodegas and convenience stores, and were put in like mainstream big grocery stores, big box stores, and that kind of thing. And of course, sales just plummeted, and they were like, why? Why can't we figure this out? It's because you saw something that was working, decided to buy it, but had no idea what it was. And that's what this Minecraft movie feels like to me. Is they were like, oh, kids love Jack Black and Super Mario, so they'll love him in this. It's kids, so we'll just make it bright. We'll also get that Wednesday girl, and we'll whatever. We'll put these like different kids in there, and it can be crappy animation, it can be crappy CGI, because that's how Minecraft looks, and blah blah blah. And it's like just a fundamental misunderstanding of why people love that game and the storytelling behind that game.
Exactly. And that is one thing I know, that the lore, does go so deep, and like a lot of people really respect that part of the story. I remember when Minecraft story mode dropped. Like, I remember when it was like, it was a thing. And so, but that's exactly what I mean by I say I feel like it's made for new age Minecraft fans. Like, the cameos, they're cameos of Twitch streamers that are famous now. Like, I'm like, if you really wanted to make the Minecraft movie, like, pull up like people that were making gameplays in 2013, 2014.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, you need to, if you're really wanting to like draw in the Minecraft fans, like draw in the Minecraft fans. You're just trying to draw in like 9-year-olds. And that's what I mean by it just feels so much like a cash grab. And to what you're saying about like, they just don't know what to do, and they have a fundamental misunderstanding of, what Minecraft is and can be. I mean, I'm not going to say that when I heard that a Minecraft movie was coming out, I was like, oh, this has the, potential to be like this amazing, film. Like, I'm like, I understand what the track record is with video game adaptations, but they could have done so much better than that. Like that, I just feel like they didn't even try.
Right.
Like Jason Momoa and Jack Black 69ing in the sky. I'm like, what are we doing? What
Wait,
are we
never mind. What's
doing
the best
here?
movie ever? Never mind. I changed my mind. I changed my vote. Give it an Oscar right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. What is your next least favorite film this year?
Smashing Machine. Now, I will say, The Rock's performance, fantastic.
Mhm.
But again, this is a softie issue.
Mhm.
And it has to do with the fact that this wasn't a story. It was barely a biopic, but it was basically just like this guy liked wrestling and then this happened, but then he liked drugs and then that happened, but then he got better and then this happened. I was just like, what? And
Mhm.
it's a longer film and I was just like, what are we doing here? What's the beginning, middle, and end of this? And they brought in these
Mhm.
other characters that were actually like super dynamic, but it was just they were nothing. Dawn and Emily Blunt is Dawn, fantastic. However, they made
Mhm.
Dawn seem like a lunatic, and I'm just like, and
Mhm.
maybe she was. Who knows? There was just
Mhm.
there was no there. And
Mhm.
I really I talked with Emily a little bit at the screening that we went to. I talked with
Yeah.
her a little bit, and because I was like, how because apparently she was able to talk to Dawn. And I said,
Mhm.
was there anything that maybe she didn't tell you, but that you could kind of glean from the conversation? And she said,
Mhm.
she's someone who wanted to be seen more than
Mhm.
anything. And I was just like, yeah. And that's how I feel that Dawn was, but I feel she was being portrayed like, oh, well, she just wants to mess up his sobriety and she just wants to be a party girl and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that seems wildly unfair, especially when
Mhm.
they're trying to paint him as being reasonable. This guy
Mhm.
who was blacked out and she had to be the one to take care of him. So
Mhm.
there was stuff about that relationship that I wasn't sure was portrayed as accurately as it could have been. And then you
Mhm.
had like his best friend, who's also a bodybuilder guy. And I was like, I
Mhm.
really like their friendship, but I don't know, just something just didn't fully connect. However, the last scene where we have the real guy,
Mhm. Mark.
they did not need to mic him. Or they needed to give him something to say. Because I said, what is happening? I knew
You'd
that
be
was
like,
him.
wow.
And I
Wow,
figured,
it's amazing.
yeah,
It's amazing. Wow.
like he knows that you guys are filming him. So like you can't do the whole like, oh, this is just candid and he's out in the wild. I'm like, he is straight up
Mhm.
just
Well, I
talking.
mean, I have to say I do think that it was meant to be played as if he's aware of the camera. I mean, because at the very end he like waves and stuff.
Yes,
Um.
but was he supposed to? And I think that they were doing the whole oh, he's just quirky and this is fun. But I'm
Mhm.
like, he seems so oddly uncomfortable because he was like walking with the cart and then he would like look over at the camera and then walk some more and look over at the camera. And I was like, did they what?
You could have given
Like
him more direction there.
he's had a lot of hits to the head. And I feel like that has that wasn't shown as much as it could have been. And this
Mhm.
is my other thing with biopics, especially where the person in question is involved.
Mhm.
There is this idea of where it's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. We're not
Mhm.
going to make you look bad. We're not going to do anything heavy hitting. But it's like, but if there are things in his experience that are negative, they deserve to be shown in the same vein as like anything
Right.
else. And so
Right.
that scene and the way that they kind of did it, I know it was just like a cute little throwaway, but it really told me a lot about how they wrote this film and
Mm.
specifically the hard points in his life how they wrote
Mhm.
that. Because when I tell
Mm.
you, it was like, oh my God, he can't do this thing because he's all drugged out. Oh, he went to rehab. He's cool now. And I was just like, can we not get one rehab day? Like, can I
Right.
see
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
conflict in you? So yeah, but Dwayne did a fantastic job. But again, it's a softy thing for me. I just thought there wasn't enough there.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's fair. I did enjoy the Smash Machine. I have a just I think probably just a deeper relationship with it than you do, just because I was able to interview Mark, and Bas Rutten, who plays like one of his friends in the film, and then at the screening I was able to speak to everybody. But I completely understand on the aspect of biopics and sanitizing stories.
Right.
I did feel that I think more specifically when it came to his personal like character aspects, I think they explore a lot and more deeply his relationship with Dawn. And we did speak at least over the phone, online, DMs, whatever, about like Emily Blunt's character, and
Hmm.
how like I do feel like, and you're in connection with, talking about Martyr Supreme and Odessa and Gwyneth Paltrow's character, how I think their performances kind of do a lot of the work for for the character.
Yeah.
Because I think as far as what's on the page, it does have a lot of those typical trappings of, women written by men that don't necessarily understand,
Yeah.
women's intentions and decisions. But that's fair. I see that. I see that. Smashing Machine. Yeah. Okay. My next least favorite, and this one I'm actually curious just to know what you think about this movie. Him, the Jordan Peele produced film starring Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans that came out in September.
It was on my bottom, and I moved it to biggest disappointments.
Yeah, no, I can't say that this was necessarily a disappointment. I had a lot of misgivings about this going in. Primarily, the main thing that was annoying me was that Jordan Peele's name is all over the marketing, and all he
Yeah,
did was pay for it. Um,
exactly.
he didn't do anything with this movie other than give money to it, and I think that then created a lot of expectations for other people, and then the conversation then that happened around it was annoying me because like blame, quote unquote, for its weaknesses were getting put on Jordan Peele,
Right.
and like all these things, and I'm like, just a little bit more understanding of how movies work. I think you get it, because
Yeah,
we look one layer deeper, we notice that the writer and director, none of them are black,
exactly.
and that was my immediate like, oh, okay, so this is not gonna be I was like, there's gonna be some issues with this, because once I saw the trailer and I saw how deeply cultural the story is in a lot of ways, and then saw that the director's not black and none of the three writers, or the director or the two other writers are, in fact, the other two writers are fully Caucasian.
Yeah.
The director is of color, but he's not black. He's like mixed with other
Hmm.
ethnicities. But the other two writers are white men.
Every time Marlon said the N word, I was like, please let that have been ad libbed.
Right, please.
It's just like, I was like, we don't need Quentin Tarantino on the script. Like, come
Oh,
on.
oh my goodness! Even
Let's,
in the is that the opening scene where he's doing that interview, and in the background he's like, oh, Timothy Chalamet, and he's him, and da 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 da. I was like, oh my god!
so
It hurt me.
well, the thing that sucks is that this is a few movies that has a cast of color that has gotten
Hmm.
any attention this year, and that's going to be talked about more in my disappointments. But I love Tyreek. I really want to see good
Hmm.
things from him. One of
Yeah,
my
no,
favorite things from him is the Wigga
the
episode
Atlanta
in
episode.
Atlanta.
Yes,
So
yes,
so
yes.
good.
I love, that's one of my favorite episodes of Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
no.
And I know it's good because I can't stand Kevin Samuels, but I thought he was great in
Right,
that
exactly.
episode. I was like, God damn you. But yeah, and I love Marlon, and I thought Marlon was having a lot of fun. He did a really good job. I
Right.
really like Julia Fox, but I also don't think that she understood what movie she was in.
Yeah. From her introduction, I was like, I was like, are we on theme right now?
Yeah, I wanted more. I wasn't expecting more, but I did want more, and I wish it would have been better for Tyreek and Marlon. And I hope that it
Yeah.
does. I hope that overall it's positive for them, even though that movie is not great.
Yeah, no, I just and as I was watching it, I was like, all of my suspicions have just been confirmed. Like, I was like, every issue that I thought was going to be present is, and honestly, just like even more than I would have expected. I also just think that I just think cults are so cheap in movies at this point. Like, I'm like, the first thing anybody's gonna think is that it's a cult, and like then deciding to make it a cult, I'm like, you're doing absolutely nothing to subvert any kind of expectation.
The problem is that when you're trying to make a cultural point, but you're not of
Hmm.
that culture, the
Right,
only thing you're doing is giving a Caucasian view of what you think that culture looks like. And
right.
that's always accurate to the people who are in that culture. So there were
Hmm.
a lot of metaphors, there were a lot of things happening where it's like, oh, well, this is supposed to represent that. And, it's mostly about race dynamics, but also sports and race dynamics in sports, but nothing
Right, and
else.
religion.
Right. Exactly. I was like, it just became too much and it became too
Hmm.
many strings unraveling, and they just didn't have a clue how to kind of reconnect them.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, that movie was a bit of a flop for me. What is your next least favorite?
I love this because this is going to be another one that we vehemently disagree on.
I'm scared.
The Testament of Anne Lane. I hated that movie. I hated it.
Oh my god.
I hated
Oh my god.
it. I was like, what is this? And I didn't know it was
No.
a biopic until the end. But the
Uh-huh.
thing that drove me most crazy is that they were
Hmm.
like, oh, she's a feminist icon and she believes that women shouldn't have to do this, women should blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, she was crazy and she was a cult leader. She was absolutely nuts and she ran a cult. Like, no, there wasn't anybody else. There was nobody else that kind of embodied these same things. When they showed
Hmm.
an actual picture of her and her forehead was like a foot and a half long, I said Amanda Seyfried was too pretty to cast in this. Friggin' Lewis Pullman was too beautiful. And then they were like, oh, yeah, he was gay, kind of, but not really. But maybe.
Right.
Sure. Here's some queer
Oh my
representation and
god.
a naked
Right.
bottom. Now, I will say
Um.
the one of the performances I love was Christopher Abbott, because of
Mhm.
course Christopher Abbott was in this film.
Of
Christopher
course he was. Of course
Right?
he was. When I saw him, I was like, this checks out.
If I ever see
This checks out.
Christopher
It's like
Abbott
when he showed up in Poor Things. It's like this checks out. Like, of
yeah,
course, of course you're
if I
here.
ever see him in like a traditional conventional rom-com, I will know something is wrong. I will know
Right.
either Chris Abbott has some bills to pay or he has
Right.
bumped his head and there are severe
Right.
issues. He is, and
Right.
that's just, I want McKenna Grace to kind of have that thing. I want her to be in like weird stuff. I want to see Chris Abbott and know, oh, that's what I'm in for. And as soon as he showed
Right.
up, I said, oh, wait, this is, I'm waiting for the turn because they were like,
Mhm.
oh, she lost 4 of her babies and she got put in a insane asylum and da 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 da. And then I was like,
Mhm.
okay, so when is she going to kind of like regain her faculties and like really
Mhm.
start leading these people in like this new revelation? And I was like, oh no, no, this is about her sticking there and just going. And then it just kind of ended so strangely, where it was like they're chasing her and then they like strip her naked for some reason, and then the next scene is her outside by some apple trees talking about, is my brother alive? Oh, so I don't know, I in the music, in the dancing, made me crazy. I had just
Not
talked
too much. Not too
Listen, wait,
much.
wait, wait. I had just talked to someone about the idea of there being this line of musicals from people who couldn't really sing, and we'll talk about Kiss of the Spider Woman later. Now, I will say, after understanding that it was a biopic and understanding that these were, like, variations of hymns and that kinda stuff, but
Mhm.
there is something about charismatic white Christians that that give me pause. I do a big
Mhm.
side eye in their general
Yeah.
direction. The whole thing about, like, because I grew up Kojic. Yeah, we were like,
Mhm.
"Hands
Right.
up in Woodstock." It was like
Yeah.
dancing around
Church
all
of
that.
God in Christ.
When I see them freaking out and screaming the way they are, and they're like, "We're just praising God," and I'm like, "You ain't gotta praise him like that." It's like, "But you," I said, "I know you heavenly bound, but you're still on earth right now, homie. People gotta sleep. People gotta work in the morning." Like, come on.
Oh my god.
So yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
Again, another movie, I get it, sure. I don't ever need to see that again. I don't
Mhm.
ever need to see it again. But God
Mhm.
bless Amanda
Okay.
Seyfried, and I love that she's
Yeah.
getting props from it. I love that she produced on it. I love that we're seeing her take these kind of, again, like, little, uh, non-obvious roles. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I did really like that movie.
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
gonna save the rest of my thoughts for later, or if you want to check out my non-spoiler review for my last episode on it, you can. But okay, that's very surprising. I was wondering why you didn't respond when I asked you what you thought of it. um. All right.
I was like, "Just you wait, sir."
Okay, my next least favorite, my number two least favorite, is a movie that came out earlier this year, Love Hurts, which is so unfortunate,
Really?
starring Mike
Okay.
Yang, Ke Huy Quan from
Ugh.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. I just didn't like this movie. I honestly don't have many more words than I just didn't like this movie. I
Sometimes
sat
that's what
there
it
and watched this
is.
movie and I was like, this movie is bad. I don't like this movie. And I walked out and that was all that I thought about it. Like I could not even develop more thoughts past I just don't like this movie. um, just a flop, just a big, a big no no, big thumbs down. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Love Hurts. What's your next?
Yes, this was my last one. Here's the thing. As much as I love Brendan Fraser, he has been in two of the most hated movies from me in the last 2 years. The first one being The Whale, which I will
Oh,
go off about for
uh
the
huh,
next hour and a half. I have enough
uh huh,
material. The second
yeah,
being Rental Family. I am so tired of, white guy goes to a foreign country and then teaches them about life. And
hmm
then in the process, I'm like, sir, you are putting this man in danger. You have kidnapped this man. Then he lost.
but it was his wish. Like he wanted to. He was.
Then you
It was
figure
his
out
dying
how to
wish. Like.
do it safely. Like, sir, you climb up a mountain? What are we doing?
Yeah,
He's supposed to be the
yeah.
good guy. He's supposed to be the
Mhm.
protagonist. The idea of, like, oh, I'm doing this for a job, but oh, well, now I don't think it's right. And,
Mhm.
I'm going to be the one to blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, bro, like, my guy, what?
Mhm.
you know, so
Yeah.
I didn't think that there was enough of him learning from them, him
Mm.
understanding kind of what culture he is in and why they do the things that they do. Because if you
Mhm.
can tell me why they do the things they do, then I can listen to whatever your critique is of them. Because then the critique
Mhm.
becomes less of I'm right, you're wrong, and more
Mhm.
of, these people respond to this in a different way. And so maybe there's another way we can go about it. And I
Mhm.
feel like in that vein of like carpe diem, and you know, and oh my God, I'm gonna show you life, and you know, oh, this is what you want, sure, let's do it. No plan. Who needs planning? Who needs, you know, you want to go out and be your own man, the man that you were 60 years ago, except that was 60 years ago, my guy. Have accommodations that need to be made. And so yeah, and he Brendan Fraser, God bless him, he has those like those doe eyes, those like glassy, like, you know, very, I'm always concerned, and you know, I have a lot of feelings. And normally I love that from him. I adore him. Still, best episode of Scrubs ever. You know, like, but these last couple of roles, he brings that thing, and it becomes like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm not harmful, I'm non-threatening, I'm someone that you can trust, but then goes and does the most harmful, non-threatening things that he can to these people. You know, and the moral of the story is that they were wrong, and they need to get it together, and they need to understand life, and it's just like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I had a big problem with that movie. And again, the Asian cast, fantastic. Love them. Love the little girl. The guy who runs, was it Takahiro Hara?
Oh, that runs the business.
Yes, love him. I cannot stand that movie. So.
I again also think that's fair. I enjoyed that movie. It didn't make my list. I just thought it was cute. All of those issues that you have were what I was saying about it, like before I saw it. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, did it win People's Choice at TIFF, or was it like a runner up or something?
It was close, yeah.
Something along those lines. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, is this another Green Book? Like that was I was like, is this gonna be another Green Book? Because how is this, you know, and in the they're like, we need a token white guy, and I'm like, so we're still doing this, you know, centering white people in you know, non-white context.
Remind me
but
afterwards. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna write a note because there's something I'll tell you off the record.
Okay. But I think I was just caught off guard by how emotional the storyline with the old man made me, because they only really marketed the stuff with him and the girl. And I didn't expect anything about that plot line. And so when that developed, and when, you know, it got to the sad parts, I was like kind of a mess in the theater. And so I was like, I have to give the film points for that.
On its face, it is enjoyable in that way. I think it just suffers from that thing of, if you think one step further, like, you gotta enjoy it, face value, nothing more.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, how I feel about La La Land in ways, and Avatar.
Exactly.
But I got into all that on my last episode as far as Avatar. But okay, my last least favorite, and then we'll go back to some good movies. My least favorite movie this year, I think, is probably the Universal like worst movie of the year, War of the Worlds with Ice Cube. Did you watch that?
Why is that even on this list?
It's almost like not a real movie. Like it's an Amazon ad. Like it's an Amazon Prime ad.
I tell you, they told that man, we're gonna give you $1,000 Amazon gift card. I said, to deliver stuff where? My guy, what do you mean? I was like, is money gonna be a thing after this? Hasn't the economy crashed?
Right.
What are you saying?
Right. I just, oh my goodness, I thought the concept was so stupid. I thought it was so, everything about it is bad, and almost to an impressive degree. Oh my God.
Holy moly.
everything about this movie is impressively bad. Like to the point where it's like how almost like what I was saying about Minecraft. I'm like, how did everything about this make it through? Because this had to go through so many people. Or maybe I'm starting to believe maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. Maybe they did like one one edit cut through
I
and
think
then
I think this was the guy who was everybody's assistant. They all loved
mhm.
him. He's always wanted to
Mhm.
do a project. He finally saved up
Mhm.
enough money to do it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll be in your little project." And then he gave him he gave him
Right.
the script, and they were like,
Right.
"Yeah,
They're like,
maybe
as long as you put you mention Amazon every 3 minutes,
I think
we'll
Amazon was
do
the
it.
one who made that film." Yeah, I think they
No,
paid them.
exactly. I really think that like somebody higher up at Amazon were like, we need something to attract attention to Amazon specifically and Amazon Prime Air, which like that's
When I tell you, when Eva Longoria walked into the site, the disaster zone, saw something on the
on
ground, bent
FaceTime.
down and touched it, I was like, "Girl."
She's on like this like high government security thing on FaceTime. And I'm like, mind you, also what's so funny, I like I said, I just watched a House of Dynamite. There's a character in a House of Dynamite that joins like the like situation room like calls like on FaceTime and he's like running because he's like late to work. I thought that bit was funny, but that was a real movie. This
Exactly. Nope.
this is like it was just felt like a long commercial. I honestly though I was laughing so much. I was laughing genuinely so much when I was watching this movie, and I do love to laugh. So I got to give the movie that.
I love to laugh.
Um, I I don't like to be in a place where I'm not laughing. So I love that. So I got to give the movie that. But outside of that, yeah, probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But on the same tip because
I
of that, probably
forgot
one of the
it
funniest.
existed. That's how.
No, I went to Letterboxd, I sorted all my ratings by like release date and I
Mhm.
was just like, and then it popped up. I was like, oh my oh my god. Oh my goodness.
I love that
But yeah, so
everybody
that was
listening is gonna know exactly what we were doing. Like, they can't see it, but they know exactly what we're doing.
right. Right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But okay, so those were our least favorite films this year. We're gonna do another batch of honorable mentions.
So, I am going to give some love. So there's kind of a trifecta of films. I'm gonna say, Sorry Baby, Oh Hi, that's with Molly Gordon, Logan Lerman, and then Left-Handed Girl.
Okay.
My 5-word description is gonna be women say Sean Baker could never.
Oh my goodness. With Sean Baker being a producer on Left-Handed Girl. It's so funny. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, my other one is Love Brooklyn.
Okay. Yes.
5-word description is finally some black people.
Yes. 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 Fair. Oh my goodness. I went to the premiere of that at Sundance.
Oh, really? That had to be fun. Ugh, next time. I put The Phoenician Scheme. Wes Anderson beefs with black women. But it's okay. He can have that. He can have that. Just don't try, Wes. Don't try. Because that movie was one of
Oh.
his more nonsensical, but
Uh-huh.
I like Wes Anderson. I just,
Yeah.
you don't
I
like
do. I
me.
think that
You don't
movie
like us.
aesthetically, right. Right. I think that movie aesthetically might be one of, if not my favorite of his. I think story wise, it's more middle of the road for me. But the way that movie looks, that opening like overhead shot with the credit, oh my goodness, beautiful.
Yeah, it reminded me of I've been watching one battle after another, and
Hmm.
it's like, do you like black women? You like black women? And I'm like, do not ask Wes Anderson. I don't want to know the answer. I don't want to have to stop watching. Just leave us alone. I say to leave you alone. I'll just put Moonrise Kingdom on repeat. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Um, my next one. Uh,
Oh my goodness.
The Roses. I knew the original, and I remember
Mhm.
like watching the original as a kid, and I really loved the way in which they kind of stuck to the script, the ways they deviated, and how it really kind of kept you guessing until the end, like which way they were going to go. And I thought
Mhm.
that the performances were brilliant. I just thought it was really, really fun.
My next chunk of honorable mentions. We're gonna do 5. All right. Number 20 on my list. Sentimental value. My 5 words. Stellan, Renata, Inga, L, Joaquin. Joaquin. I
All
think that's how you.
right.
I don't know how you pronounce it. Yeah, my 5 words. Those is the director / writer and that cast.
Yep.
My next 28 years later.
Okay.
My 5 words. Jodie Comer 8. Unexpectedly emotional.
I like that one. I
My
love Jodie Comer, so I'm glad she's like doing stuff.
she's so. Oh my goodness, she's so good in that movie too. My next, ironically, number 18, Mickey 17. My 5 words, top 4 Bong Joon-ho film, because Joon-ho is one.
Okay.
Okay. He only has 8 movies, so, top 4 is, but still. All right. My next, if I had legs, I'd kick you.
Ooh,
My 5 words, Rose Byrne, been that girl. But okay, and my last for this round, Nouvelle Vague,
Ooh.
Vogue. I always get tripped up on how to pronounce it. But anyway, my 5 words: wonderful, charming, inspiring. Linklater rules.
My only issue with that film, and I don't know that it's fully an issue. I love
Mm,
Deutsch. I think she's fantastic. I think that she was cast because she's a Linklater girl, and that's
mm,
fine. But I'm like, there's so many French actresses that they could have picked that understand who Jean Seberg is. And because did you watch Bonjour Tristesse?
no, I've not.
So yeah, the original and the remake both kind of have a few of the same issues, but Jean Seberg was such a very specific person. And so I felt that she almost spent too much time trying to get the French right and
Mm,
not enough time actually embodying her as an actress. So
mm.
yeah, I had some issues, but I did think that it was a beautiful film.
And that's fair. I enjoyed her performance. I think my enjoyment of the movie though rests less with the performance and more just with the themes and also my experience when I saw it, because I saw it at the Vista on 35.
Oh, yeah, that was
And the print
beautiful.
was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was such a gorgeous print. But no, yeah. So that's my last of this batch of honorable mentions. Our next chunk of discussion are biggest surprises and disappointments. Let's do our biggest surprises first. I have 2. My and I was struggling with what to put down as my surprises, because I try not to have overlap with this list and like my top list, just because I feel like I'm like spread the
Yeah.
love, all that. But one of these movies is on my list. One of them is not. The movie that is not on my list, which I would say was my biggest surprise, was the How to Train Your Dragon remake.
Oh, okay.
The the other Mason Thames project, the other being Regretting You, which made it on my least favorites list.
Wow.
Um, I was probably this movie's biggest hater before it came out. You can ask my brother, you can ask anybody that I went to a movie with and saw the trailer at before. I would go on this long soapbox about like how they don't like. I'm like, it's just a shot for shot remake. They don't need to do this. Movie came out 10 years ago. Da, 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 all this whole thing, and I remember like getting to an argument with my brother because he was like, what's your issue? Like, it looks good. Da, 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 da. I was like, you don't understand. Like, this means like terrible things for the industry. Like, I was like, but I watched that movie, and also again, the first movie came out in 2010. I think I was 7 or so.
Oh my God, I can't stand you.
And like, I remember my family got the screener for it that year, the big chunky box. And like I used to watch it all the time. So I have such a deep love for the franchise. The second one is my favorite. But so I was like, oh, this movie. I was like, this movie doesn't need to exist. I watched the movie. I was like, I feel like I'm 7 years old again. I was like, I had such a joy while watching it that I really, really did not expect. Like I said, I went in lucky wanting to hate it,
Yeah.
and to feel vindicated. But like, cause I saw it kind of late. Like, I mean, late is relative. Late in LA, like a couple weeks after it came out,
Right.
and because everybody that I knew that had seen it really liked it, and I was like, what? I was like, this doesn't make sense. There's no way. And I went to see that movie. I almost gave that movie 4 stars on Letterboxd. I was like, this movie is so much fun. It is almost like a shot for shot remake, but I think what really, really strongly helps is that it is the same creative team from the first movie, and it is this is a decision made by the people that made the first movie. They wanted to retell this story live action. It's not like a kind of like cast everything. It's the same writers, the same directors, so there is that love for the original story, and there's not that layer of misunderstanding.
I also wonder if it was a slight dig at Disney being like, live action.
This is how you do it. Right. Maybe that was what I felt while watching it. I was like, Disney needs to take some notes. Like I didn't even see it in IMAX. That was the one after I saw it. I was like, oh, I wish I caught this in IMAX when it was here. So, if you you could just watch the original one and still, get the same feeling. But as far as like, live action remakes of animated films go, it might be one of the best that's come out in the last, since it's become more of the trend. I guess the last 10 years or so. Yeah, so that was probably my biggest surprise that didn't make my list. My other biggest surprise that was on my list was a movie that I missed at Sundance, but caught when it came out in theaters, Lurker, with Archie Madikwe, I think that's how you pronounce it. And
I love him so much.
The other actor's name I can't remember, but this movie is so tea. Oh my god, it is so tea. I did not expect anything about this movie. I knew that it was about this guy who's like a super fan of this artist, and he kind of infiltrates the artist's life in some ways. I love when movies give me that feeling of like, oh my god, what is this person going to do when they get caught? Like they're just so wrapped up in it, and it's like what is going to happen? And I just think this movie does that so well. It was such an unsuspectingly good movie to me. The performances are so good. The original soundtrack that they do, because Archie Madikwe plays this like pop star, and they made like a bunch of original songs for it, and the music is so good.
That's fun.
And there's like these like queer undertones to the story. Because it's like the Talented Mr. Ripley kind of thing, where it's like he doesn't know if he's in love with him or wants to be him kind of thing.
The answer is yes.
And right. And they have this, oh my god, this wrestling scene. Oh my god, I'm gonna stop talking about it because I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it, but it is on Mubi, I think.
Of course it is.
Because it was a movie. But no, I really, really responded so much stronger to that movie than I anticipated. But yeah, so those are probably my biggest surprises of the year. There's another one I could say, but I'm gonna save that.
I have 3 more, but they're quick. One was we were talking about kind of nostalgia films and them just being cash grabs, and kind of the faults of Minecraft. And I felt where they couldn't figure out Minecraft, they figured it out with Freakier Friday. I thought that was such a fun remake. It didn't take itself overly seriously. It was like, we know what type of movie this is. We're going to have, these cameos and Jamie Lee Curtis acting a gat dang fool in the way. I really, really, really enjoyed that film. We had a really great time with it. And when we talk about remakes or sequels and especially stuff to things that have been like 20 years ago, etc.
Right.
I thought that that was the way to do it, where you just kind of have to lean into the fan service of it all.
I wasn't that big of a fan of Freaky Friday.
Oh, I loved it.
Hey,
And you know,
love Jamie.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Like, I would rather do like 13 going on 30 or whatever. But yeah, my other one was Josh O'Connor. Period. End of sentence. I love Josh O'Connor, and I've always loved him. But
Mhm.
I love that this year, especially, he really, or last year, whatever, he's really coming into his own, not just as an actor, but also as a producer. He's going to do more
Mhm.
directing. And there are a lot of projects this year that had his name in multiple places in it. And I love
Mhm.
to see that kind of growth from actors that I want to see more of.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
finally, it's not movie related, but it was a fantastic surprise. And I think we're going to talk a little more about it later. Heated Rivalry. My God.
We can talk about it now.
Talk
We can talk about it
about.
now.
Okay, so first of all, I. So
This show.
when it comes, so me and my friend Terrence have actually recorded 2 podcasts about this show. One was like mid-season and one was end of season, and we'll probably be
Uh-huh.
doing another one. Um,
Okay, fair.
I am not a hockey fic person. I'm not a hockey fic girly. And
Mhm.
I find that a lot of hockey fics tend to be aggressively Caucasian. What I mean by that is like, even if there are people of color, it's like, but are they?
Right,
Do we
exactly.
understand what's going on?
Right.
And I love that we actually have people of color in here. I love that the girlfriends, all women of color, beautiful, gorgeous, and
Mhm.
all like smart and fantastic, except Sophie. But you know, Sophie's awesome and Canadian, so
Right.
we love her.
Yeah.
And she's a yellow jacket. Like, come on. Um, I that so I wasn't gonna watch the show originally. And finally my friend
Mhm.
was like, Stacey, please, can you get me the screener? Can you, I want to see the screener? And I was like, oh, let me see if I can, talk to them. Maybe I can have them send you one, etc., etc.
Right.
And so they ended up sending them to me, and I still didn't watch it, but I was like, oof, I requested this. They're going to be looking for like a little review. So I was like, okay,
Right,
fine. Let me
yeah.
sit down and watch these first 3 episodes. And when I tell you, I was like, where's number 4? I need it
Right.
right now. Then I need 5,
Give it
6.
to me now.
I need
Right.
7, 8. 7, 8 don't
Right.
even exist. I need
7
them.
and 8 don't even exist.
I need y'all
Yeah.
to get back on set like
Right.
immediately.
Right. I need it. Give it to me and inject it into my veins. I'm like, I
Right in
need
my
it.
veins. And one thing that's so great is that everybody is talking about it from every point of view.
Everybody.
When I tell you, they're hockey podcasts, and I'll shout them out. What Chaos and Empty Netters, the
Empty netters,
best
yes.
reactions to that show from like the straightest guys on earth. I love that part of it. And I love that it actually has gone for a while without
Mhm.
actual backlash. There has been
Mhm.
some questions about like sexualities and that kind of stuff, but really that's not on the show. That has to do
Yeah.
just with kind of the culture surrounding it. One of the
Right.
very few out NFL players was like, or NHL players, he was like, no one in the league is talking about this. And if they are, they aren't talking about it in the way that you think, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, sir, I know it's been hard. I know you had to be closet for a very long time, but I'm gonna need you to
Right.
take some blinders off, homie, because there are people in these comments daily talking about, oh, I played
Right.
hockey, not even pro league, but like minor league, this, da, 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 da. Like, I love this show.
Right.
I watch it with my girlfriend. It's awesome, and we connect on it. And I'm like, yes, this is
Yeah.
necessary. This is needed. Francois
Yeah.
Arnault said that after episode 5, he had so many players that were like current players, like current closeted people that wrote him, DM'd him, like, I wish I could do that. I
Mhm.
wish that there was
Mhm.
something, just, they say you have to be it, or if you want to be it, you have to see it. And I think
Mhm.
just, even if it plants the inkling of an idea, even if it just
Mhm.
gives someone a safe space that they didn't think existed before, it's worth
Mhm.
it. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I will praise that show and Connor's story. My God.
God,
Talk about coming out of nowhere. For me,
right.
I was like, "Is that the boy who was in Joker?" But then I'm like, who is that?
Right.
And
Oh
that
my goodness.
accent, and then him not having that accent in real life kind of messed me up. I try
Oh
not to
my
do
goodness.
our
The accent
imitation
work is so
thing, but
good.
like maybe you should talk with an accent, Connor. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Oh my goodness. No, I think this show is so good. I watched that cottage episode, the season
Oh,
finale, and oh my goodness, I was shaking, I was screaming. I am so obsessed with oh my god, Shane and Ilya. I just think oh my god. And what's so interesting, I've talked to some of my friends about this. I like I think in the context of the show, I'm more of a fan of Ilya, but in like life,
yeah.
I think Hudson is so funny.
Hudson
The
is
guy who
so
plays Shane.
unhinged. And I am
Yeah,
here for it. May he never get media training. And I said, you know what?
right. Right. He doesn't need it.
But with him, I think we're good. I think we're okay.
Right.
He said
Yeah,
something
no.
about
It's
like,
what the
oh,
show needs.
spit in my mouth. And I was like,
It's what the show needs. It really is. Like it fits the vibe. It's part of it, and I'm so glad they understand what show they're on,
exactly.
and they understand their audience. Like if they weren't being like this, it would feel like it would be almost like awkward or just like unfitting.
When I tell you fangirls have been going through it for decades. And this idea that there is this chemistry on screen, but off screen they have to prove, oh no, but we're straight, but we're this, but we're that, and we don't care, we don't go. That's like my brother.
Right.
I don't know why people would ship me with him. And I'm like, because you're eye boning him on screen.
Right.
It's just I love that we have a cast. Now there have been people from other casts that, like especially like Supernatural, that have kind of leaned into it and had fun. But the idea that the two mains, the two people who are in it, understand that the thirst is not just I find you sexy thirst, but it's also I admire you, I respect you, I think this is so
Mhm.
cool. Thank you for
Right.
giving us this gift thirst. And they
Right.
just play in it so beautifully, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. We can go on and on and on and on and on
Yeah,
about
we
heated
might have to do a
rivalry. I
special
think we have
episode.
to. I know. I'm like, I think we got to get back to the movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, shout out to
That
Heated
would be the last
Rivalry.
surprise.
Definitely huge surprise at the end of the year. For
Mhm.
sure. As far as disappointments,
All right.
I have two. My first disappointment, The History of Sound.
Ooh, okay, okay.
I ultimately thought this movie was boring. I was so excited. I think I went like the Thursday night, like, night before. Like I had been that week, I was so excited to see that movie. Like I had been like, oh my god, I have to wait until Thursday to see. I have to wait until Thursday to see it. Like oh my goodness, it was like it just irking me that I couldn't watch it when I did. And then I went to see it, and I was like, this is like Brokeback Mountain, but just so much weaker, like just so much more boring. And I think it's almost there. I just think that Josh O'Connor, we know, plays gays very well, one of the
Mhm.
best. Paul Mescal, I get like All of Us Strangers is amazing. All of Us Strangers
Yeah,
is amazing.
of
But
course.
I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of their chemistry in History of
Mm,
Sound. I just didn't really I wasn't drawn to them that much. It doesn't help that the film has a very like muted and like kind of very gray kind of
yeah,
color palette, just kind of adding to that like drabness. The music, because music is a big part of the story. I one of the song There's a song that like Paul Mescal sings a couple times. I think it shows up in the trailer. That was like stuck in my head, for a while. It's just like they're like these little like folk hymns,
yeah,
that they're like they're traveling around to different parts of the country and recording people. And he's just like, a silver dagger, but like it was like stuck in my head for
yeah.
like a while. And so I'm like, I have to give it that. But
Sticks with
ultimately, I
you.
was just like, I think my Letterboxd review was like, everybody wants to be Brokeback Mountain, but nobody wants to be as honest and raw as Brokeback Mountain. That's kind of just what I felt with History of Sound.
Do you think that it was like, so when Downton Abbey came out,
Hmm.
and people were like, oh my God, girl, drama. But then like you watch it and you're like, this is so
Right.
slow. You start like you get into the slowness. You're like, okay, I
Hmm.
understand. Like this is that pace, this is that thing. Was it kind of a difference in expectations in that realm, or did you just not really connect to it at all?
I think partially, but primarily not, because I was partly expecting a bit more steam, you know,
Mhm.
and a bit more, at least just flair with the romance aspect. But
Yeah.
part of the nature of the story is that because it's set in like 1910 or 1911 or something, and they, like I said, they're very mild mannered people, their characters, and like it's a quiet area. They both wear their glasses and do their reading, and like have it's all those kind of, and so like I was part of my, I think definitely in that my expectations were a bit mismanaged, but at the same time, like I said, I just don't think, even with what I was presented, I just don't think I connected that well with their chemistry and their relationship, which is so unfortunate because I really really wanted to, like I
Yeah.
really 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 wanted to,
I want
like it had
to.
all the makings of something that I would love.
It reminds me a little bit of like an early 90s gay movie where it was like
Mm.
you knew they were gay by the glances that they gave each like
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I like that can work for
right.
me though. Like that is something that can work, like
But
if
it
it's
has to
done
be
right.
something that like fits in with the narrative and
Yes,
yeah,
no.
because
Now, I mean, I'm not saying like we see them, like they kiss and
yeah,
like they wake up in bed together. Like it's not like
yeah,
it is empty or devoid of any kind of sexual relationship between the two of them. I just think, yeah, I think me like being so online and like the conversation around what it was going to be, and then even I think the way it was marketed a little bit leaned a bit more into
exactly. Yeah.
that part of it, and when it's really not about that.
I'm excited to find out.
But no, yeah, I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. My other disappointment, one other very quickly. Like I said, disappointed for different reasons that I didn't expect. The Springsteen movie, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Yeah, I didn't have high expectations because biopics, like we were talking about, are usually very heavily sanitized, and that's a big issue that I usually have with them. This one though, I was really hoping that Jeremy Allen White would save how I would feel about it, just because I love him so much.
Yeah.
But I just thought the movie was kind of empty. I didn't really connect with him. I thought his voice work was odd and kind of slipped in and out of whatever voice he was trying to do. It just felt very wig and teeth. Um, Even more so than Complete Unknown
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
And Complete Unknown barely got a pass because the music, the performance scenes I thought were really strong, and the sound design especially. But this one, I was just like, I was like, oh, Jeremy, really disappointed because I didn't respond to Jeremy's performance really at all. And
Mhm.
like I love everything he does. Like I'm very easy to please when it comes to Jeremy Allen White.
I
But
adore him.
those are my disappointments. What are your most disappointing films this year?
So, my first one is Rolling Stone and Variety leaving Sinners off of their best of list. That's
Hmm.
crazy to me. That is
Yeah,
crazy to me. And
absolutely insane.
we are not so far removed from Oscars So White. So we have this
Hmm.
year that is chock full of whiteness, and the one black movie that's fantastic and does phenomenal and tricked everybody, you leave off
Right,
your list. And at first it looks
right.
petty, especially from Variety's point of view. But the problem is, in 5 years, when people look back, they're not going to remember that beef. They're just going to see that it's not on
Hmm.
that list. And that's really messed
Right.
up. And people are like, "Oh, well, it shouldn't matter." It's like, but the problem is, it does. It
Hmm.
1,000% does.
It
Sinners
really, really
needs
does.
to be in the conversation when we're talking about awards. I think that it's
Yes.
worthy of it, and I think that I did an interview with Janexa Bravo a few years ago, and I
Mm.
asked her during
She's really
Zola.
nice. I met her one time. Yeah,
I
I
love
met
her.
her at Sundance for Zola at a
Yep.
screening.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, "Tell me, what is the currency of awards? What do awards
Mm.
mean?" And she said for every award that a project wins, it opens the next door 20% further. And I said, that's what people don't understand. People are like, oh, it's just an ego thing. It's just that. No, it's business. Like, if you want to get
Yeah, it
something
really
made,
is.
it has to be appealing, or you have to kind of
Yes.
do it another route. But if you're doing award
Hmm.
worthy content, it needs to be
Hmm.
recognized. And I think that
Exactly.
is award winning content that needs to be recognized. My next one was Kiss of the Spider Woman. The
Okay.
lack. So, what I will tell you, first of all, yeah, Bill Condon, amazing,
Hmm.
absolutely
Yes.
iconic. Chicago, Dreamgirls, like the rest.
Dreamgirls being my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, listen, and as
Yes.
it should be, and as a Condon musical, fantastic.
Hmm.
I understand why they cast J Lo. I also think that it is the film's undoing. And not
Hmm.
necessarily just because of her performance, but because of
Hmm.
her press run and the fact that
Mm.
people are getting sick of her. And I feel like she tries, I mean, listen, I feel
No,
like,
yeah. She doesn't have a great reputation in the industry also.
well, and she has to know that, or at the very least
Yeah.
reps have to know that. I went to a
Right.
Q&A, and sadly Tonatia had to go to New York, so he just did an
Mhm.
intro and then left, and then afterwards the Q&A was with J-Lo and Bill and a few other producers, and I don't think she said Tonatia's name once. And I said, girl,
Mm.
if you want to harbor any goodwill during this press run, you need to make
Right.
him your focus. Even if
Right.
you just need to absolutely talk about yourself, talk about maybe something that you taught him about acting on set. Tell us about a
Right.
conversation that you had or whatever. Her main thing
Right.
was the guy who did the original choreography for the Broadway show said that I was the best he'd ever seen. And I'm like, girl, that's that you need to tell us. Like, how can you
Yeah.
say that if
Yeah.
that's the news? It was just so off putting. And it got to the point where, like, you're watching her scenes in this because she's in it a lot. And it just gives you the idea that she thinks that this was her absolute powerhouse of acting. And the thing is that the Spider-Woman is not supposed to be an amazing actress. She's a B movie actress. She's just supposed to
Yeah.
be kind of divified in Tonatiuh's eyes as the main character.
Which is like layers of shade, I feel like.
Listen, but I was floored because Tonatiuh's performance deserves so much in that film. He is
It does.
phenomenal. And I'm talking
Yeah.
like two different accents. When he sings in two different parts, he sings in two different accents. Just the way that he's able
Hmm.
to kind of differentiate the characters, he's so, so good. Diego Luna, I did laugh though, because when I first heard about the film, I was like watching him get Gael Garcia Bernal. And then I heard and I said, those two have been switching off queer roles ever since
They
he
have
began, and I'm here for it. Let's
ever since
go.
E2, right? Yeah. Listen.
But yes, I need more heat on that film, specifically for Tonatiuh. But I think it's just a gorgeous film. It's so well done. I loved it, but I was so annoyed by J Lo
Hmm.
behavior. So yeah,
Hmm.
um,
That is very fair.
yeah.
That's very fair.
Ugh, it's so. um, oh, Odessa. I wanted more. And they
Hmm.
just, when I tell you, you have Regina Hall, Sadie Sink, Kelvin Harrison, like people that should be able to work together to create this really cool film. But it
Hmm.
just, Sadie Sink does have a cursor where she looks forever 13. But I said, if
Yes.
you would have had
Yes.
her look like Max looks now, immediate
Hmm.
improvement. Just the hair wild, and like there was something, she just wasn't ready for that role, and I just felt like it just didn't come together. So I was kind of sad about that. But my final one was Wicked for Good.
Yes.
Ugh, talk
Yes.
about, and everybody was kind of saying like, oh well, it's the second half. The second half isn't inviting. But I said that's not the issue with the film. The issue is that it's the second half. I think it's shorter than the first half, and it feels so much longer.
It feels so much longer. There's
There
too much stuff happening.
Yeah, I feel like the first film was saying, "Okay, even if you're not a Wicked film or even if you're not a Wicked fan, we're going to bring you into that story. You're gonna learn everything about it. You'll figure it out. It'll be awesome." And then the second film was like, "Well, you've watched Wicked by now, right? You've watched it, so it's cool." And I was just like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
still." They said something about 12 cycles have passed. I said, "What's a cycle?" I said, "'Cause it has to have been 12 years." I said, "Is a
Right,
cycle a month?
exactly.
Has it been just
I
a
was
year?"
so confused about the timeline
Time
of it
passage
because I'm
so
like, weren't I think I said this in my podcast on Wicked. I was like, weren't they just in school? I was like, oh girl is the governor now, and she got like, and Bach is her like,
I said,
lead
"Yep,
like
they graduated
security,
around
and
then."
Glinda's like running the city and everything. I'm like, weren't they just in school? Like, weren't they just like school age?
Well, someone
Like,
said it was 4 years, and I said, "4 years have gone by and the best she can do is smoke writing? Like, what are we doing?"
like it was so unfocused, and it
Yeah,
almost completely forgot that Linda and Elphaba are the like fueling engines of the story.
yeah.
And I think because we get so little of like the two of them together, and we get so little of their chemistry, that's why it doesn't work as well. Because the first one I think really was like powered by the two of them and their, just how they are with each other.
It was crazy that we didn't see more scenes of them being friends, that we had one
Hmm.
background scene of them walking, and then that was it.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah.
crazy that there wasn't a scene between Elphaba and Fiero that was her understanding that he, wasn't actually trying to hunt her down. Like, that
Right.
conversation, I think, was needed and would have been really cool. And then
Hmm.
also the idea that the wizard didn't know was crazy to me.
Right. Like,
Crazy to me. I was like, "Sir, she is the
let's
only
be for real
green
right now.
person you know.
Right.
You know you hung out in Munchkinland. What do you mean?" And then,
Right. Exactly.
and there was some stuff with Nessa where I was like, just everything was rushed. It was like this, that. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna watch it again. And
Hmm.
but the fact that I'm like, I need to watch this a third time is kind of telling, because the first one I
Yeah.
watch over
No.
and over gladly. This one I'm like, what am I
Yeah.
missing? What am I missing? So, yeah,
Right. Right. Yeah. No. I saw the first one maybe like 6 times. This one I saw twice, and the
same.
second one I really Loki wasn't wanting to watch it the second time. Okay. All right. That is fair. I agree. Our last batch of honorable mentions before we get into our top 10.
I put Nuremberg.
Okay. I've not seen this.
I saw it like, well, it's a whole story, but I really enjoyed it. However, like I saw Lee, the Kate Winslet
Hmm.
one, loved it.
Yeah.
And then I saw something else in between, and I can't believe, but it was literally like 3 Holocaust movies in a row, and I was like, "Why
Uh-huh.
are y'all doing this to me?" Like, I am already dehydrated. Oh, and,
Right.
the Jesse Eisenberg one, which I don't know,
Oh.
a whole
Um.
other
Ooh. A Real
I
Pain?
can't. Huh?
Not A Real Pain.
Yeah, Real Pain. Yep.
Oh, from last year.
Yes, yes, from last year.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so, that
A
was
whole
like
other.
a whole 'nother
A
thing.
whole other. That's perfect. Anyway, continue.
Right? I absolutely love that movie, but, I feel it was a lot, and so I'm wondering, it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of play or a lot of attention. I know it was at TIFF, and as far as I know, it performed well there, but, I
Mhm.
just haven't heard a lot about it outside of that, and so I think
Mm.
it'll be interesting if it does get more play.
Mm. Okay. It seemed like it almost seemed like a default Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
It to me, like when I was reading about it, I was like, oh, this might be the to Leslie, the Andrea Riseborough of the Best Picture race this year, where it just kind of shows up, and it's like if enough old people see it, I
Right.
think they'll vote for it. They'll be like, oh yeah, that Nuremberg was good. But okay. My last batch. We've got highest to lowest.
Okay.
Okay. My 5 words. Denzel and Jeffrey Dream Team.
Beloved.
Yes. Beloved.
I overstand.
Yeah. I overstand. This is mayhem. That's Jake from State Farm. This is mayhem.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness. I just rewatched that movie a couple nights ago with my family after Christmas. Because they hadn't seen it. I really enjoy that movie. Love Spike. My next, Superman.
Okay. Yep.
My 5 words. Best DC movie ever, methinks? Question mark.
Honestly, yeah, name another one. Wonder Woman 1984.
Right. The only other one might be like James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which is like, yeah. But okay. My next, Lurker.
Yep.
The movie that I mentioned earlier. My 5 words. I wanted them to kiss.
Yep.
My next, which is one that you mentioned earlier, Train Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
My 5 words. Frank Gallagher would do this.
Go. Love it.
Okay, and my last of my honorable mentions is Pillion.
Okay.
My 5 words. Heartbreaking, provocative, required for gays.
Okay.
Those are my 5 words. And those are my honorable mentions.
I would put Pillion on my honorable mentions. I liked it. I feel like the marketing for it was a little off base. And I think it was a different movie than what they were trying to portray, but I really liked that movie. So
yeah, no. I have to say, I think I probably only saw the trailer maybe one time. Like I can't even really remember it. So I don't know that I'm not as aware of the way that this movie was marketed. I think I'd probably guess though it was marketed more as like a sex kind of thing.
Dom-com, that was like the whole
okay, yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's a lot. It has a lot to do with finding yourself, not understanding how to communicate.
It's a very tender story about identity and love.
Yeah, it's wild.
And how they're wrapped up in each other.
Those last scenes, man. So good.
Oh my goodness. I was in that theater. It was me and like 3 other gay people. And I could tell because I was hearing everybody whispering, like talking to themselves like before the movie started, and I'm like, everybody in here gay. And it's just like 4 of us. But
bring it out, baby.
Oh yeah, but I really, really love that movie. That movie almost made it in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, all right. So those are our honorable mentions. And now we're getting into our top 10.